All right, let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. Look, we back on all three platforms now. We back on YouTube, back on Facebook. What's going on? Back on Instagram. I decided, you know what? Let's just bring it back to all the platforms. What's good? What's good? Um, hope y'all having a good Sunday. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Hope it's restful, joyful. Hope everybody's looking forward to the week. I know for me, I think I had a really good realization this weekend that you can't do everything, right? You can't do everything. It's impossible to do everything. I know a lot of times in our life, we try to do everything. And so it's really important to prioritize. And I think this weekend I had a real good light bulb moment. So for those of y'all tuning in, y'all might be like, who is this dude? Who is this guy? If you're just catching on somebody shared it with you. My name is Fred Johnson IV, Mr. I'm gonna graduate, your favorite college success coach. And welcome to College and Career Convos, y'all. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Time, I have a different conversation about college that pertains to high school students or college students, but this conversation is really geared toward the parents of those students. So if you're the parent of a high school or a college student, these conversations are perfect for you. And look, I like to keep it authentic. I like to keep the conversations real. I don't like to mince words. I don't like to sugarcoat. I just like to tell you the real, give you the information, and do what you want with it. And so that's what College and Career Convos is all about. Of course, if you see me kind of looking in different directions, is because I got Instagram up, I got Facebook up, I'm on YouTube, and so I'm trying to make sure that I'm just taking a look at where everybody is, just in case you have questions, you want to add to the conversation. That's another thing I'm real big on. I like to engage with y'all, and so whether you're watching this now, whether you're watching this after the fact, make sure that you engage. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have pushes, if you got feedback for me, let me know, right? Let me know. I want to hear from you. I want to engage with you. A few things before we get into tonight's topic, which is a really good one, is y'all, we less than a week away from the Grind to Grad Conference. This Saturday, actually. I've been saying Saturday for a while. This Saturday, February 4th at 4 p.m. Central Time. It's free, it's virtual. I'm doing a Grind to Grad Conference. This is a perfect conference for parents of high school students, parents of college students, high school or college students, right? Administrator, anybody that cares about college success, this is the conference for you. All right. And what are we going to be covering? There's a lot of things you got to do in order to make it to college and be prepared. I'm going to talk about those major keys, those major steps. And then once you're there, there's a lot of things you got to do to make sure you avoid those pitfalls so that your child graduates, right? And so if you're anybody who's interested in the access and persistence side, what it takes to get to and through college, I'm your guy. And this is the conference for you to make sure that you attend. So make sure you comment under this post wherever you're watching this. You can comment the word link. I will DM it to you. I will send you your free ticket. I want to see you there. I know I'm going to see you there. And so let's dig into tonight's topic. Again, College and Career Convos. Every Sunday, it's all about having conversations that are going to help parents to elevate and help their child to be successful. All right, so let's dig into it. So today I was thinking, what are some topics that I know parents want to talk about or that I know is top of mind? And this is the time of year, right? We're a month or so into the semester, whether your child is in high school or college, and they could be failing, right? They could be failing. And this could be a student, regardless of what age they are. You could have a student who's been struggling academically for a while, right? When your child brings home F's and D's and C's, you're not surprised, right? You're not surprised. And so I said, you know what? I need to speak to that parent whose child has been struggling academically for a while or just currently struggling. But this is particularly for those parents who have children who have just never been an honor roll student. That's just never been your kid. And I know you want that for them, right? They deserve it. This conversation is for those students. So let's talk about how do you get your child from failing in school to flourishing? How do you get them to a point where they're bringing home F's and D's most of the time, are barely passing by the skin of their teeth, to crushing it in the classroom. How do you do that? I'm gonna give you some very practical tips to follow. So make sure that you got your pen, you got paper ready. Again, this is a conversation, so trying to pay attention to all the phones and things that's set up. Engage with me. Let me know if you have specific questions. Let me know if you have specific comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree. All right, let's dig into it. So the first thing you got to do, if you want to take your child from failing to flourishing, right? We're thinking about academically, how to get them to a place where they're always getting A's and B's. And I hate to burst your bubble, but if your child is failing, part of it could probably be because they don't care about making good grades. It's not actually something that's important to them, or it's not something that's important enough for them to put in the whatever work is required for them to pass. And I know that might suck to hear, but they just might not care. They might not care enough to do it. And so we got to investigate that. Why don't they care? Why don't they care? Why aren't grades important to them? It could be for a few reasons. One reason could be because the people that they hang around don't care about grades. And so they want to fit in, right? Maybe they actually do care about grades, but because the group of friends that they hang out with don't care about grades, they don't care, right? In high school, it's all about fitting in. It's all about being accepted. And so academically, you don't want to be an outcast because you're going to tutor and because you're raising your hand in class. I try to let students know, and I know it's tough when you're in high school, but I try to let students know popularity ain't real after high school. After you graduate from high school, there's nobody that's going to call you popular anymore. It's either you're successful and you're doing the things you want to do in your life, or you're not, right? You're maturing, you're becoming more wiser, or you're not. And you probably won't necessarily know that until you start to see that same group of friends that you were with start to move as different things become important to them in life. They start to do different things. They start to have different habits. They start to hang out with, they start to have different goals. They start to carry themselves differently. And so popularity is not really a real thing after high school. But your child is probably just trying to fit in with that group, right? And as much as you can impress upon them, 9 times out of 10 years from now, these are not going to be your friends. Most of them won't be your friends. And I hate to burst that bubble, but y'all know, y'all have friends from high school, or friends that were your friends in high school that are no longer friends now. Talk to them about that journey. Talk to them. This is an opportunity for you to be vulnerable. Talk to them about why y'all separated, why y'all didn't stay in contact with each other, right? Maybe things that they're still doing that you're like, nah, I don't want to be about that life no more. That's not me. That's not me. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. That's not me, right? So part of it is who they're hanging out with. That's why they don't care, right? The other part, the other reason why they probably don't care about the grades that they're making is because they think, right? They think that they have time. And that's something over this weekend. And as I've gotten older, I realized like how finite time actually is. Like time is a commodity that you can't get back. It's it's the most important commodity, right? Some people might say money, but you lose money, you can make it back. Time, once it's gone, you can't get it back. You can't ever recover time. And so part of the reason why they don't care right now is because they think, and this might actually be true. Yeah, I'm failing right now, but wait till them last 3-4 weeks. Wait till them last 2 weeks of the semester. I'll be able to pass with a C. And as much as that might be true for your child and for your student, that's never true after they graduate. Whether they're going to college, whether they're going into the workforce, if you put in half you know what effort for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, you can't make that up, right? There's consequences for that. There's opportunities that's missed. There's paychecks that are missed. There's bills that don't get paid. And so when there's real consequences for procrastinating or for thinking you can just play catch up at the end. And I've been a high school teacher, so I understand. We don't want to just fail our children, right? We want to give them opportunities to pass. But I also understood what a disservice that does to your student and your child in the long term when it comes to conditioning them to consequences. So the other reason why they don't care about their grades right now is because they're going to be afforded an opportunity to make up those grades later, which in the long run is going to condition them in a way that is not going to be, definitely won't be helpful in college, and is definitely not helpful in life. Another thing, and this is really where I want y'all to have this conversation, is their identity. They don't actually think they're capable of making good grades. For some reason, and this could be because of you. Just to be honest with you, I told you I'm real with college and career convos. This could be because of you. This could be because of another family member, their friends, potentially even their teachers. They don't think they're capable of making good grades. Someone has told them that they're dumb. Someone has told them that they're stupid. Someone has told them in so many ways that, you know what, you're not smart. You're not smart. And I want to make sure people understand that being smart, to me, being smart is not really a thing. You have students who now there are always going to be topics that come easier to certain students, but in people in general, but either you work hard and smart, right? And when I say work smart, work efficiently, right? You can work hard. Your work ethic will tell me a lot more about what you're capable of than your intelligence, right? How smart you are. But somewhere along the line, your kid has adopted this identity that they're just not smart enough. They're stupid, they're dumb, they can't do it. They're not good at math, they're not good at English, they're not good at history, they're not good at school. And so your job as a coach, right? Because I never tell people how to parent. But what I'm doing on college and career convos is I'm turning you into a college success coach. That's what I do all day, every day. I coach students to be successful. So I'm asking y'all to remove that parent hat and put on that college coach hat, because I'm gonna tell you how to coach them up. So identity is a huge part. If and it's something called self-efficacy. Self-efficacy. If they believe they can do it, the chances of them being able to achieve a goal, they're a lot more likely, right? The chances go way up if their self-efficacy is high. If their self-efficacy is low, if they don't actually believe that they can do it, they're not likely to do it. And so your job as a coach, right, as a parent that's coaching your child to be successful academically, is you have to build up their identity. You have to build up their identity. You have to make sure that they understand they are capable. They do have the tools. They have everything they need right now to be successful. Believe it or not. Everything, even if math is is the subject where they struggle the most in, is never come quick. Everything that they need to be successful in math, they have right now. All of the mindsets they have. Not skill-wise, they probably have to build some skills. But from a mindset standpoint, internally they have it. It's just dormant. It hasn't been awakened yet. And your job as a parent that's coaching them is to wake up the mindset that's already inside them. Because trust me, there's certain instances where you've seen this mindset come up. I don't know if whether it's them trying to go out and hang out with friends, whether it's them trying to make a certain team, whether it's a boy or girl that they like, whether they're trying to chase them down, right? Whatever the case might be, you've seen your child wake up and turn it on when they want to. The same switch, they can flick the same switch for their academics, but you got to find the right motivation. And that part, it is tough, but you got to help build up their identity. Help them see themselves as someone who can be successful in school. It just takes the right steps. So you got to build up their identity. One way you can do that is to help them see you've been successful in similar situations before. You just haven't thought about it enough. You just haven't thought about it enough. It may not necessarily be directly in an academic situation, but there are things that they've done in the past that will help them build up where they want to be. You have to show them the evidence of where they've already been. They've already been successful. whether it's on the field, in sports, in a different situation, but they've been successful. The key is finding out, how do I take that transferable mindset and skill and apply it to an area where I'm trying to grow. Right? Maybe your child is like really persistent in terms of like trying to work hard to make a team. All right, how do we take that persistence, that perseverance, that drive, that motivation, and apply it to school? How do we do that? Talk to them about it. And again, this is an opportunity for you to be vulnerable. So if there was ever a point in your academic career, high school, middle school, college, whatever the case, work, where you struggle with something, you struggle with your identity, it's important to model this for your child, because sometimes they look at us and they think that we're perfect. They think that we're flawless. They think that we've never failed before. So you can build up their identity by helping them to understand that you've failed. You've overcome that failure. And how did you do it? Help them to see that. All right. So that's the first thing. You got to build up their identity and help them to see themselves that they are capable. They're more than capable of doing well. Right. The second thing you got to do is you got to connect it to either a future plan, right? Something that's long term, or something that's short term that they're motivated by. Right. And I don't mean to make this like a punitive thing, right? This is not like, unless you make an A or B in this class, you're going to fail. Or I'm going to take the game away. Now, I will say this. Discipline is like, right, you want to create the boundaries, but I'm not telling you how to parent, but I want to approach this from a coaching standpoint. People are motivated much more by things that are positive than things that are negative. Right? So if you've ever managed a team before, your team is a lot more like, or your direct reports are a lot more likely to run through a wall for you if they respect you, right? And if there's like a goal to chase, versus if they feel like they're running away from a consequence or there's something punitive, right? Do this or you're going to get fired. That could motivate, but it's probably not sustainable. And they're probably going to resent you the whole time. Versus, when we accomplish this, here's what we're going to do to celebrate. Or when we accomplish this, here's the impact it's going to have on kids' lives, right? Find a moment, find a short-term thing for them to celebrate. What's something that they've been wanting? Maybe it's that new pair of shoes. Maybe it's going to that event, right? What's something that they enjoy doing? Do they enjoy sports? Maybe it's going to the next Pelicans game, right? And you can make this short-term, right? You can make, and I would say probably going to something like a Pelicans game should be something that's earned for like a bigger achievement, like getting an A or B on a test, right? Or X amount of days of consistently getting homework completed, right? Or going to tutoring X amount. Like, save the bigger ones for some of the big inputs. I would say something like their favorite meal, their favorite dinner, or like going out, or like playing a fun game. Like, so, like, your kid. I don't know your kid. You know your kid better than I do. But what's that short-term thing, action, activity that's gonna get them motivated? Right? Maybe it's going to the mall. My dad did this with me and my sisters. He paid, and this was in elementary school. He eventually stopped because it got real expensive, but we got paid for making good grades. Right? And I know not every family is going to be in a position to do that, but when I talk about investing in your child, this could be something where, if there's something you could cut out of the budget, right? Maybe you get a whole bunch of coffee, or you eat out a whole lot for fast food. You could cut back on a few of those meals and say, you know what, I'm going to take this money and reinvest it in my child as an incentive to do well. Right? But what's that short-term thing or that long-term thing that can really get them motivated? And sometimes it might be something that's more material, right? This could also be something like, if we're going with the monetary piece, you have this jar that's visible, maybe a jar that's on the counter or something. And every time that they complete a task or an action or a routine that's going to help them get closer to that goal of being on top of their academics, you drop $1 or you drop something in there, right? So that way they could kind of see that progress. But again, your child, what's going to motivate them over the short term and the long term. right? Maybe the long term can be more about uh the big event to go to, or the shopping spree, or whatever the case might be, right? The short term might be that dollar amount, that article of clothing, or something like that, right? But you want to find out what's that short term or long term connection. Also, and again, this I like having these type of conversations with students, because I think often in their mind they think success is just something that happens to people. Success is not just something that happens to people. Success, they say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, right? You got to put in work. So ask them, what type of lifestyle do you want for yourself? Let's just think about it. What type of lifestyle do you want for yourself? What does that look like? What do you think it takes? What do you think it looks like day to day to do that? What time do you think you have to wake up? Right? How hard do you think you have to work? Right now, you can't wait till you get to that moment to start working hard. Right now, your child has to understand that working hard is transferable in any situation. And so they have to start thinking of, is not about the grade necessarily, but it's about developing a good work ethic for anything that you do. Applying that full effort to anything that you do. Because in order to be successful in life and business, you have to work hard. You have to, and you have to be intentional with it. So have them connect to that long-term vision that they want for themselves, and understand, yeah, it's not necessarily about the grade, but it is about committing to working hard. And that might be a conversation that's tough for students to grasp, depending on how young they are. But it's just the real. It's just the real. It's not really about the grade, but it's about your work ethic, right? If you bust your behind and you get a C, that that's to be celebrated, because you worked for that. But if you think you're just going to be able to show up and not do anything and get A's and B's, or do stuff at the last minute, trust me, it's going to catch up. If it don't catch up with you in high school, it's definitely going to catch up with you in college and in life after high school. So you got to find a way to motivate them in the short term by connecting it to short-term wins and the long-term vision that they want for themselves. All right, I usually like to keep these at 30 minutes. So we're going to see if we can push through these last few. I might do a part 2 to this then. I might do a part 2 for next week, because I don't want to sell y'all short. The next thing you can do is you have to celebrate small wins, right? It's kind of like when you're trying to lose weight, right? Or when you're trying to like hit a fitness goal, which I'm trying to do. It could be discouraging if the only thing you use as a gauge for your success is when you step on that scale at the end of a week. Because your body, it'll fluctuate, right? You could have put in a whole lot of work. That actually happened to me a few weeks ago. I thought I had a great week, and it kind of took a lot of the wind out of my sails, because when I stepped on that scale, it was like stuff was going in, the numbers were going in the wrong direction. What you have to do is celebrate the small wins, right? When I drink that water bottle instead of juice, right? When I make sure I'm eating the right things, right? When I'm eating a healthy breakfast, when I'm portion controlling, when I'm getting up early and working out. I have to find a way to celebrate the small things. So with your child, you have to celebrate whatever they are doing. If they wake up early one day or wake up on time, so look, good job. I noticed that's something you've been working on. Great job, right? If they've been really struggling with, I don't know, just like paying attention in class, right? And the teacher gives a great report on them doing what they need to do in class. Celebrate that. Matter of fact, you having a relationship with their teacher, especially to find out not just what's going wrong, but hey, can you let me know anything, any small thing that they're doing right? Right? Any small thing, so I can go ahead and celebrate it. Celebrate the small wins, because they're going to be likely to replicate that when you celebrate it. And then not only do you celebrate it, have them connected to, how does this help you be successful in this class? How does this help you be successful this semester? How does this help you be successful in life? Right? They paint that picture of that long-term vision they have for themselves. How does it help them to be successful in life? Celebrate the small wins. The small wins are important, because you want to do what's called, or have what's called, the compound effect. So the compound effect, you might have heard this riddle, or not riddle, but this situation, or this question, this prompt. So would you rather have a penny that doubles in value for a year or a month, maybe? I think it is. No, maybe a year. I think it's a year. Would you rather have a penny that doubles in value for a year, every day for a year, or actually 30 days? Y'all can look it up. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Would you rather have a penny that doubles in value over time, or give $1 million straight up? Just take the million. Now, most people would think, oh, I'm gonna take the million, right? But actually, you'll make way more money if you take a penny that doubles in value for 30 days. Now, for that first, I think 10 to 15 days, you're losing. You are nowhere near $1 million. But once you get to round 10, day 15, things start to get crazy, right? And then by the time you get to day 30, I forget what it is, but you're well over $1 million. You want to work on that compound effect. The same is true for your child when you celebrate those small wins. All right. You build that compound effect and you start to build momentum. That thing starts to snowball and build in a good way. Because it's like, oh, I did wake up early. Oh, you did see me studying. You did see me doing my homework. Right? You celebrate, especially when it comes to the work ethic. Of course, you can always celebrate when they are making maybe a good grade on a quiz or a test. But if your child is struggling and don't often bring home good grades, you got to celebrate the actions that lead to making good grades. Right? Identify what those actions are, but celebrate them. Celebrate them. Make sure they know verbally, I'm proud of you. Because you made a choice to do something that's going to lead to getting the grades that you want academically, or getting those A's and those B's. So I always like to keep these to 30 minutes. And I got 3 more for you. So I'm going to actually save those for next week. We'll do a part 2. But what I want to know from y'all, for those of you that are watching this, I want to know from you, what are your ideas, right? What are your ideas around how to help a child who's really struggling in school, right? Tonight we talked about finding out why they don't care, right? Why don't they care? And really addressing their identity. Really addressing their identity. Do they see themselves as a student who can be successful? The second thing we talked about was a connection to short-term and long-term goals, or connection to short-term and long-term motivation, giving them motivation along the way. And the last thing we talked about was celebrating success, however small, and building that momentum, that compound effect. So I want to know from y'all, what are y'all ideas? I got 3 more tips. We're going to save them for next week. I'm wondering if we're aligned in that. The other thing I want to say is, if you have questions, if your child is struggling and you have questions about how to help them, drop it in the chat. I want to help y'all, right? I want to be a resource for you. So let me know if you're watching this. Let me know. Another thing I want to do, if you found anything in this video that's of value, share it out. Share it with somebody you know. Share it with somebody you know. And then one last thing I'll say is, y'all, you got to be at the Grind to Grad conference this Saturday, February 4th, 4 p.m. Central Time. It's free, it's virtual, and it's for you. It's to help you, to help your child be successful. Matter of fact, you and your child should be there, right? If they intend on going to college, I'm going to be giving y'all the game on what it takes to get there and avoid all the pitfalls. And once you're there, what it takes to be successful and graduate in 4 years, right? Don't take 7 years like I did. Graduate in 4 years and graduate debt free. I'm going to be giving y'all the game for free. All right, for free. I want to make sure I'm invested in you and your child being successful. So thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching this. I will see y'all. I'm gonna get back to putting that content out, y'all. I had to take a little hiatus, but I'm gonna get back to pushing that content out successfully and get y'all a ticket. Get y'all a ticket. I'll see you there.